Yes, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the Vintage Collection. Focus, will you? Quick shot series. And it's Han Solo Trench Coat. And I've just looked in my book of figures. Not figures like this. Figures like this, money. I have got a little record of what I've spent on all my collection. And I can't find what I spent on him. What I can find is that I spent £12.50 on this. This is the VOTC Han. We're going to look at him again in a minute. That's from 2006. And the reason I never bothered with this guy from the Vintage Collection, which is VC62. Oh, welcome, by the way. This is episode 62 of the Vintage Collection Quick Shot series. And it's VC62 we're looking at, which is Han Trench Coat. I never bothered getting this guy originally because I already had this guy. And in terms of my collection, I was only interested in collecting, you know, for my carded collection, I just wanted one of each image. One of a trench coat image, and that did me. I thought, brilliant, I've got that one. I don't need to get this. Plus, the scalper prices on eBay for him were ridiculous. Every time I looked and saw him, I thought, my God, why would you spend £50 on this when people can own this for next to nothing? In fact, he goes for very cheap on eBay. But then, a bit of time ticked on. In fact, I think I had completed the whole collection, and then I actually realised, well, hang on a minute, I actually don't technically have a VC62. But I do now. But not only do I have the Return, I have the Revenge. So that's why you're looking at 2 cards here. 3 in total, including the VOTC. In fact, that's a lie. That isn't the VOTC. That's the Vintage Saga collection, I believe. I think it is, yeah. In that line, you've got the Sandperson, Greedo, Biker Scout. Brilliant. And then I do have the figure loose, which I won in a job lot a while ago. I remember I was in the gym in like 2016 and I was on eBay and I was looking around and some guy was selling loads of figures that were decent. I'll come back to him in a minute. And he'd listed them as the Star Wars figure, which is just brilliant. When you stumble across a listing like that and they're good figures. I think I won a Leia, Hoth, and I won loads of good ones. I can't remember now specifically. And he was in there as well. Which is not necessarily the greatest figure, but I'm just saying that I won it in a job lot. And so yeah, there you go. But unfortunately he did not come with the trench coat, so I can't show you that. But I think the trench coat is the same as the Rebel Commando. And if you want to see the trench coat, there it is there. So there you go. And I do have fond memories of Han Trench Coat. He was the only Han Solo I ever owned as a kid. That's probably just because of my age. I was born in the 80s as opposed to the 70s. I was born in 81. And so I got the last dregs of the Return of the Jedi stuff, I guess. You know, in terms of what I was bought. Obviously, I didn't go out and buy it because I was too young. It would have been stuff I was bought by family, parents. You know what I mean? But that's the one I used to have, definitely. And I just remember seeing the trench coat and thinking, awesome. It's him on Endor, but I want it off because I just wanted to see Han Solo, as we all know him, with a vest on, you know, whatever you call that, waistcoat, vest, whatever. And yeah, so that's my little story about Han Solo, the original figure, which you can see on the back there. Let's have a look at the back of these cards carefully. Sorry, they look to be exactly the same on the back. I presume these are the US cards. In fact, I think they are. Exactly the same, except the front of them is different. The front one says Revenge, one says Return. And on the front of one of them, I think, or maybe both of them, is the Fett sticker I was talking about previously. I just did a video on Boba Fett, what do you call it? Prototype armour. And I did feature that figure as well. I talked about him in terms of, I did a couple of videos on good and bad repacks. He was an excellent repack when they put him in the Black Series, because like he was meant people like myself and other collectors could get hold of it without having to open a vintage cardback. But anyway, that's another story. So these are the fronts of the cards. Again, I'll just show you them. They are both unpunched. Gone are the days of unpunched cards. If you're watching this in 2000 and anything after 2018 when the Vintage Collection returned, because none of the cards are unpunched anymore. But you know, who cares? These are, so if you're lucky to have one unpunched, that's good. Chances are they have already been punched out. Depends if they've been in a shop or not, but these obviously haven't. Bit of a crease on that one. Oh well, so there you go. That is the figure. Excuse me, I'm going all over the place here. That is the card back, and here is the figure. just going to move this aside here. It will help with the focus. I'm obviously handheld here. That's why we're shaky. And the figure I don't particularly like. It's a rubbish. Well, that's a bit cruel, isn't it? It's not rubbish, but what's going on with that waistcoat? It looks like a life preserver. The dork thinks he's going to drown. You know what I mean? It looks like the Marty McFly puffer gilet, you know? It's really bulky, isn't it? It's a good likeness, I suppose, of Han Solo. The legs, again, they're very skinny. They have this thing of giving Harrison Ford skinny legs. Harrison, are you watching? Do you have skinny legs? Are they being accurate about you? Your physique? It's dodgy, isn't it? The best Han Solo is the VOTC Han, which I was going to show you. I was going to bring that into this video, but then I thought I'd have, you know, loads of cardbacks knocking around. But what I will show you is this. And my mate Marco White, I haven't mentioned him for a while. He's a fella collector, a guy I know. He said, well, I agree with him. I don't have this one loose either. I'd like to get this. This is the VOTC one I'm showing you now. But that is, one time they've recycled the kind of facial sculpt of the Ultimate Han Solo, which is the VOTC Han on the classic cardback. Not the Endor card, but the one from Star Wars with the Star Wars chase on it. And they've kind of recycled that Han there. Half, I don't know, sort of. Except they've given him a trench coat. I don't know what he's like underneath the trench coat. I couldn't comment on that. But the Ultimate Han is that one. Do you know what? Since I've mentioned it, damn it, I'm going to go and get it. Just wait there 1 minute, please. Thank you for waiting. Only one Kenobi's video will now resume immediately. Thank you. And here it is there. That's the Ultimate Han, I reckon. Let's put these two side by side. Look at that. Well, you know, depends what you see, but it's a really good, it's a great figure. This, he is a little bit skinny in parts, the arms, the legs, but they've never made a Han as good as that. A lot of people believe, and I believe that too. Except maybe this one's another good one. And then this guy, he looks really, not cheesy, but a little bit sort of slick, doesn't he? A bit too slick, but anyway. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. That is VC62. Well, it's not VC62. That's the VOTC Han. That's the VSC Vintage Saga Collection Han. And this is the VC62, which is another reissue of a classic 80s card. Again, I mean, obviously, why did they choose to do that? We'd already had him done here, and then they've given it to us again. So it's another slot taken up by something we've already had. You know, one could argue there's a ton of other figures and cards that we need. This is a slot that they have taken away, if you know what I mean. And those slots are precious, because I and a ton of people who watch my channel have a list of stuff we want to see come back. And they've brought something back twice. And I don't understand, other than the fact that it's Han Solo and he'd sell. But then again, they could have brought out Han and Stormtrooper at this period of time, but they didn't. They wanted to bring out a trench coat again. But at least the figure is different. That figure is different from the VOTC one. This has been a very long video. I think I'm going to knock it on the head there. Thank you very much for watching. Join me for episode 63. And I don't know what it's going to be. Let's have a look on the back of here. I think it might be one of these guys. It might be the TIE Fighter pilot. But don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. Only one Kenobi. Only one.